If you have been financially affected by the COVID pandemic, then this message is for you. Are you among the many folks who have lost their jobs, or if you've been furloughed, or working from home at a reduced pay? If you have credit card debt and cannot make your monthly payments, we at Debt Fix Pros can help. Call us to see how we can reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments. If you are struggling with credit card debt, we can help. Call 800-591-5517. That's 800-591-5517.
This is the G Podcast with your host, Tonya B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the G Podcast. It is episode 69, Valentine's Day. And no, I did not plan that, y'all. That just happened. But welcome to another episode of the G Podcast. You know, each week we do politics, pop culture, that hot tea, and more. And you can check us out on the Echo device. All you have to do is say, you know the name of that device. You know what it's called. Play This is the G Podcast and it'll come up for you. But you got to be, you know, one thing I did learn is you have to be an Amazon Music subscriber. To, you know, as long as you have Amazon Music, most people do on their smart devices, you're good to go. Also, we've got no YouTube channel. You can check us out, stream us on castropolis.net, the MyTuner radio app, and all that's on our social media. And it's on the podcast page. So you can definitely just check us out. When you go to the podcast page, you can also go to our IG account and our Twitter account. Okay. Hey, one thing I got to say, and you know, as I welcome our co-host, my brother from another mother is out this week. You know, we call him the country commentator, the pride of Mary Persons High, 30-year military vet, all that good stuff. He told me, I asked him if I could do it because I didn't want to break any HIPAA laws. But I did ask. I said, hey, man, you know, can I tell the people? And he said, yeah. But he took the Moderna vax, you know, this at the end of the week. And we tape on Sunday, and he said, man, you know, I'm kind of feeling this. I'm going to have to, you know, kind of lay out. But he did send us his as Tonya B likes to call it, the benediction. So he found a way to be a part of this show. So
you mean I actually am trying to get my camera going? I put my red lipstick on.
No, you didn't. No, but well, you know, you can still
head to do.
You can
and
still.
He not here. Okay.
You know, yeah, he you know, I mean, he's you know what, and I'm gonna be monitoring Vi. Because, you know, I had a plan to either, you know, from what I heard, I guess the president took Pfizer. He took the Pfizer back. Anthony Fauci took Moderna. And now they've got the Johnson & Johnson, which is the one shot vaccine. So I'm kind of taking a look at Johnson & Johnson as an option when my number comes up. So we'll see what's up.
Is he feeling fatigued, Thomas?
Yeah, he was, not to go into like specifics, but, you know, he said, man, I'm feeling down. I can't, no. So, and it has, I guess, you know, flu-like. It'll make you feel like you got the flu, you know, to a certain extent for some people. So, you know, I'm not going to push the brother. I said, no, man, you rest, you know, do what you got to do. But, you know, that's kind of...
I just need to know because I'm thinking about getting the vaccine.
Yeah.
I've just been, you know...
It sounded kind of typical. It sounded kind of typical what he was saying. He said it's, you know, nothing severe. I'm going to check on him again after the show, you know.
Okay.
So I'll let you know. And speaking of our co-host, that's another co-host voice you just heard. The pride of the Mac, Macon, Georgia. She's a poet, community activist, entrepreneur, motivates us with that poetic peace movement. Hey, can you you got a love poem that you can drop a couple of lines, a sonnet or a haiku?
Now, see, I do. Okay.
I'm going to give you some time. You want me to come back to you at the end of the show?
No, I'll do something, but it's not going to be like Love Jones. It's going to be like how I love myself.
Yeah, hit it. Well, go ahead and hit it. Go ahead. I'm going to give you, I'm not, no drum. I'll give you some snaps after it's over, but go. All right, you go ahead. Do your thing.
Celebration of life. 1873, day the zygote came to be, egg and the sperm met, and like a jet, combustions and explosions. Just as the Red Sea was split by Moses, Mama's water broke, and suddenly satisfactions turned into contractions. That's when I stepped into action. 11/18/73, already on a mission to stand my position in a universal world.
Oh, you know what? You know what?
Okay, we'll stop right there. Maybe I'm good. It's been a minute, but
Tonya B.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
I was still feeling it.
Yes,
I was like, whoa, you were hitting it. You were there. You know, I would have been the brother on the stage, Love Jones with the bongos, like, you know, I've been going at it. Go ahead, girl. Good job. We're going to let you do the, I would love to hear you do the full thing. Cause you know, you've been doing this. So how long have you been doing poetry? You've been doing it a while, right?
Since 1991.
Yep.
Yeah, since 1991.
So you for real. I mean, she does, Tonya B, she's done like events. You were doing your poetic piece on a weekly basis, open mic thing. So, you know, she the real deal, y'all. She the real deal. I'm going to get to you one more time, though. One more time.
Thank you, Tonya B. Thank you, Tonya.
Don't sleep on Y-O, yo. Don't, you know.
Yeah.
Put it down.
See, she put her hat on for Vi. And he's not here.
Yeah, I do have a hat on today, y'all. It's cold and wet.
Yeah, it is.
Macon, Georgia. Yeah.
Georgia don't know what it wants to do. I mean, so that's another story weather-wise. And of course, our digital entertainment guru, the one and the only, Tonya B is in the building. Y'all give it up for Tonya B. Tonya B, you got some cooking. You want to do that real quick, or you want to hold off on it?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I can't disappoint KY and Howard.
So, okay, all right. So here we go.
Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen.
What's cooking, Tonya B?
Go ahead, Tonya B.
Okay, well, one thing I will say, I started out in the kitchen on Friday about 5 o'clock. And I was asked to make some of my world famous red velvet cupcakes for the church. We're doing this, you know, February is Red Heart Health Month. So anyway, that was one thing. So, you know, I'm a scratch baker. So I did my frosting, I did that. And then I decided, okay, well, let's look at some other things. And just for those of you who don't know, there are certain red fruits that, have certain meanings, and watermelon, believe it or not, is positivity. And then we have what else did I do? I did strawberries and for abundance, and red grapes are actually for prosperity. So there's something to be said for that. And then I got a request from someone who actually had seen my food and asked me to cook. So long story longer, what we're having today is we spatchcocked the chicken and put it on the rotisserie, and baby, I put my 10-degree rub on it. I'm telling you right now. And then I did my Yakety Jack Daniel's candied yams. I did my 6, 7, 8 mac and cheese, and I did some greens with smoked turkey necks.
Good stuff. Go ahead, Tonya B.
What's that 6, 7, 8 mac and cheese? Is that like
because I use 6? No, not for here. I did that before I came to Georgia. Actually, I use 6, 7, or 8 different types of cheese in it.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds delish.
I'm waiting for the cookbook.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the cookbook. The Tonya B cookbook.
So yes, we had, and we weren't here last week, but last week for Super Bowl, I made lemon pepper wings, and I'm telling you, y'all, the brine, all brine really is salt, brown sugar or white sugar, or apple juice, and some garlic. Okay. And I brined this chicken I put it in the brine on Friday night. Oh, and some soy sauce if you have it. And I'm telling you, I'm not a chicken breast person, but baby, it was the most tender, juicy chicken breast. It was almost like eating a chicken thigh. So, I got to give myself 5 on it. I give myself a snap on that one.
All right.
Yeah. Now, mind you, none of this is for me.
Yeah.
And now I actually, as soon as this show is over, I actually have one of my members of my quarantine pod who's going to treat me to dinner. So this is the first week in, I think, 3 weeks. Thank God I don't have a family or kids, but I am not cooking. So everything I told you about, I cooked, but I didn't cook it for me.
You deserve to go out after all that.
So see, the gag was before pandemic hit. We were actually planning in January to have everybody come to my spot. We were going to do the show from my table, because in the middle I have a lazy Susan, so you can just spin it around and get what you want to eat and do the show. But then COVID hit, and here we are.
See, I done put on some COVID pounds. Now I'm gonna have to run some weight off before I come eat your food, because that's
No, I need to run with you, because I'm not gonna lie.
I'm all COVID-y.
25 pounds, baby.
COVID-y.
Do you guys use air fryers? I think I'm going to invest in one.
I have an air fryer. That's what when I fry my catfish, which I did earlier this week, I did that, and I tried to do some bang bang shrimp. That it's not the same, but it's healthier. And I forgot to tell you, I did lobster rolls last week too.
Okay, cool.
Sounds good.
Well, hey y'all, here's the deal.
So whenever it's done, that's what we're gonna do. You have to come to Atlanta, and we'll sit around my table. I'll put the extra leaf in the middle, on the side, and we'll do the show from beautiful downtown Atlanta.
Good stuff.
No problem.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that cookbook. That's what we're gonna do. Hey, but y'all, real quick, I'm gonna go to news, but let me tell y'all something. The title of this episode, I'm kind of calling this episode "Where's the Love?" But after, we tape on Saturday. No, I'm sorry, we tape on Sunday. But as you know, what went down Saturday was, the acquittal. And you know what song, all I could think about after the acquittal, I'm going to play a little bit of this, because I could only think about some Bobby Blue Bland when that acquittal went down. Ain't no love in the heart of the city. That's all I could think. You know what I'm saying? Valentine's Day weekend. We got no love.
Not at all.
I could, brown liquor in one hand. It was just, Bobby Bland in the background. That's all I could feel. But we're going to do news. I know. We're going to do news real quick and come back and talk about it. And I'm going to give you some perspective. And Harold Michael Harvey gave me some real good perspective on it as well. But let's go to news, and we'll come back and find the love. We're going to try to find the love, okay? We'll come right back.
I'm going to find a cocktail. I ain't got no love. Cocktails.
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
Mary Wilson of the Supremes has died. Wilson co-founded the legendary Motown group. Her publicist Jay Schwartz said she died suddenly Monday night at her home in Nevada. Wilson never left the Supremes, staying with them until they officially disbanded in 1977. She was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1988. Just this weekend, Wilson posted a video on her YouTube channel commemorating Black History Month and last month's 60th anniversary of the Supremes. Mary Wilson was 76. Prosecutors in Fulton County have opened a criminal investigation into the former president's attempts to influence Georgia's 2020 election results, ordering government officials to preserve documents concerning this call.
I just want to find 11,780 votes.
The investigation is now the second known criminal probe facing Mr. Trump. The other case is in New York concerning his business dealings.
We humbly ask you to convict President Trump.
House managers have wrapped up their case against Donald Trump. The former president faces one article of impeachment for inciting the mob that invaded the U.S. Capitol last month. House lead manager Jamie Raskin.
I've talked a lot about common sense in this trial because I believe that's all you need to arrive at the right answer.
But it does appear Democrats are unlikely to secure a conviction and bar Trump from ever holding office again. They need 17 Senate Republicans to join them. Right now, political observers say they might get 10. Trump's team is scheduled to present their defense today and may wrap up by the end of the day. That could mean a vote over the weekend. President Biden criticized the coronavirus vaccination program he inherited from President Trump on Thursday and urged Americans to have patience. He said the U.S. government has signed contracts for 200 million additional doses of the vaccine.
President Trump is still liable for everything he did while he was in office. Didn't get away with anything. Yeah.
That's Mitch McConnell not long after the Senate acquitted former President Trump following his second impeachment trial. He actually voted not guilty. In a statement released this weekend, President Biden quoted the leading elected Republican when he said, even those opposed to the conviction, like Senate Minority Leader McConnell, believe Donald Trump was guilty of a disgraceful dereliction of duty and practically and morally responsible for provoking the violence unleashed on the Capitol. Trump supporter Lindsey Graham told Fox News Sunday,
Senator McConnell's speech, he got a load off his chest, obviously, but unfortunately, he put a load on the back of Republicans. That speech you will see in 2022 campaigns.
Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, are expecting a second child. The royal couple's first child, Archie, is 19 months old.
Let me say this. I'm going to give you some perspective. I really listened to what Mitch McConnell said after this thing was all up. First of all, Y-O, did you have a chance to take a look at some of it during the week?
Actually, I read up on it and watched whatever coverage was on the internet. But as far as to sit down and watch it on television, no, I did not.
Okay, gotcha. What about you, Tonya B? Did you check some of it out?
Nor did I. I thought that the best wrap up for that whole thing was the parody that SNL did last night.
Yeah, you're about right. But I watched not the very first day of trial of the evidence, but the second day, which was it was pretty impactful. I mean, you really have no soul, and if you don't see, and they were showing, of course, a lot of unseen footage, but just to sit there and watch that, and actually have been a part of it, I just don't know where your soul is. Your soul has been sold. That's all I have to say to Acquit. But I'm gonna leave it at that, because one of the things in listening to Mitch McConnell, a lot of, some folks and Mitch McConnell were pretty much trying to pat themselves on the back, but the bottom line is these guys are about money. And a lot of what you heard coming out of McConnell's mouth was really to protect his donors. He's given his donors cover. And just to make sure everybody understands what I'm saying, he's basically, calling out Trump, saying how egregious it was, so that people will be okay with donating to the GOP. Because Mitch is about the money. I mean, honestly, things don't get Mitch's attention until the money starts getting hit. And the money started getting hit right before it started dwindling at the end of last year. And after they lost the Senate in Georgia, he really got pissed. So it's about the money and it's about the power for Mitch. Don't think that he's on your side or he's looking out for the greater good of the people, which I don't really say from a partisan standpoint side. I just mean looking out for the people. They looking out for the money. This is all about the money. And I'm going to post an article. Harold Michael Harvey released a really good essay. It's titled, "There's No Justice for Ratifying Injustice." And I want to, the thing that bothers me most about a lot of these situations, because we all knew what was going to come down. We knew it was a partisan vote. I mean, how can you have a jury with the jurors helping the defense? I mean, that's, it's not a real jury. But what happens is it twists our view of justice. It's like the more we see Trump get away, the more you have to look at justice, and it really solidifies, at least from a black standpoint, our view that there are two different systems of justice. So we're gonna be watching closely what's going on in Fulton County. We're going to be watching closely. I mean, Letitia James, I hope you're on your game, because I heard the interview with the district attorney in Fulton County. She's on it. And it's going to be interesting to see how she pulls it off. But they've got some pretty compelling evidence. So, any thoughts on that, just as we wrap it? Because candidly, I don't want to give these guys too much oxygen. Any thoughts, Tonya B? I'll go to you
one
first. Thing
I think is, like you said, we got, I don't know what's her, some people call her Fonnie, some call her Fannie, here
Fonnie,
in Georgia. And then we got Letitia in New York. And, and I think there will be a few other people coming to the forefront. But what's interesting is the more these women of color who are black, brown, and tan come to push these dudes, trust me, they're going to try to push back that much more, because, their ego cannot be, usurped or emasculated by that black woman. Yep. So, I'm ready for that fight. And look, I'm not going to bet on them, that's for sure.
But Fonnie's already getting death threats. She's getting threats. I mean, well,
I think Letitia already is. Well, Fonnie got death threats the day she got elected. Yeah. But I'm sure Letitia's getting them too.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Y-O?
So do you think any Democrats voted not to impeach Trump?
No, Democrats were 100% independents.
Okay.
It was straight down party line. I mean, they did get, again, picked up seven.
7 Republicans,
yeah,
right?
seven Republicans. And I just, it's a money play. It's, Lindsey Graham is already showing his hand. If you heard in his comment, he's basically saying, he's more pissed at what McConnell said because the audio is going to be used in commercials and, 2 years down the line, in the midterms. He's more concerned about, the optics of it. And I don't blame him because you know what? I'd use that I'd chop it up and I would play it against Trump. And you know what? The whole thing about McConnell, and this is the last thing I want to say on this. How can you say that the guy needed to be, actually, he was guilty, blame it on a technicality, and you caused the technicality? You understand what I'm saying? You caused the thing to be delayed because you shut down the Senate. And then because the Democrats were ready to do it right away, they wanted to do it before the Senate closed. He said, no, let's wait until after he's out of office. Then when he's out of office, we can't do it. It really wouldn't be right because constitutionally, we can't do anything to him. It's not up to us. It's just so dirty. It makes politics, which politics has always had a dirty side, but it's in your face dirt right now. Which really
almost like he has immunity, and I'm pretty sure he feels he feels like he's above the law.
You know what? I really think somewhere there's some tapes on these guys. You know what I mean? There's got to be Lindsey. I don't see Tonya B from a perspective of, the business. Doesn't it feel like that kind of business where these guys, there's some blackmail?
Oh yeah, there was some what do you call backroom deals made, and who's going to bring who's going to bring it to the forefront?
Who do you think? Who?
Maxine Waters. Mama Maxine's been too quiet.
You think so?
She's cooking up something.
I hope so.
She getting ready to stir it up. Come on now. Come on.
I hope so. Good Lord. Well, anyway, that's that, and congratulations to Harry and Meghan. They got another baby on the way. Mary Wilson, rest in peace. Interesting week with that occurring at the beginning of the week. Just a lot of stuff going on. And we're going to come back with tea because I want to talk to you. Tonya B, you've got some good stuff. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl numbers and some other good stuff. Yeah. And you got some real good tea. So let's take a break. Let's get away from this mess. Y'all go take a shower, get the dirt, all this dirt off you from politics. And we'll come right back and we'll talk about some tea, some more dirt.
If you have been financially affected by the COVID pandemic, then this message is for you. Are you among the many folks who have lost their jobs, or if you've been furloughed or working from home at a reduced pay? If you have credit card debt and cannot make your monthly payments, we at Debt Fix Pros can help. Call us to see how we can reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments. If you are struggling with credit card debt, we can help. Call 800-591-5517. That's 800-591-5517.
Now then, children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sipping the tea with Tonya B.
You know what time it is. Let's do it, Tonya B.
Oh, okay. Well, I know. Well, I'll start off with our celebrity privilege. You did mention Mary Wilson, and initially there was no cause of death for her. But what I'm hearing now is it had something to do with blood clots and high blood pressure. So teachable moment, folks. Just because you lay down and you think you feel okay, nothing is promised. And one thing about Mary that people didn't know, yes, she was the eternal supreme. She was actually my favorite, but she was also quite an advocate for a lot of health issues for people of Black and brown people. She was a huge advocate for the LGBTQ community, and also she was one of those that was really up there, hitting up politicians trying to get financial assistance and back royalties for artists. Because what people don't realize, even back then, a bad deal is a bad deal.
Yep.
And But again, people do it for the love of. And did you know the Supremes, their royalty was 1 penny? So you had Diana Ross, Florence Ballard, and Mary Wilson had to split a penny 3 ways, and that was their royalty rate.
Ugh. Who did that deal? Barry?
Barry Gordy. So, they made a lot of people rich. A lot of people rich.
Some Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was comedian Mike Epps. It wasn't too long ago that he lost his mom, and now he mourns the loss of his dad. So prayers up to him and his family. I would say, rest in peace. Can we please let Whitney Houston and Bobby Christina rest in peace? Lifetime had that mess last week. Didn't we almost have it all? I could not watch the whole thing. All I do know this is that I have had enough of this Whitney and Bobby Christina stuff. It's enough. I know everybody trying to, it's a money grab, people trying to get a check, but enough is enough. They're probably both in just as much pain when they were among the living as they are now, just seeing. I think people are just bastardizing their names for the sake of a check. And
I think they were just trying to do. You think they were just trying to do something around the death anniversary, which was February 12th?
They could have done Whitney Houston's greatest performances, or how this is Channel Reels, and they have a thing they do on deceased people, and it was the story behind the songs, which I found a lot more palatable than let's talk about how Bobby Christina almost died in a bathtub the day before her mother died. Enough with that.
Yeah, agreed.
I think it was Whitney Houston's goddaughter who came out with this last version.
I don't know. Where did he come from? I knew about, Bobby Brown's sister and Pat Houston. I'm like, girl, who? I never heard of her. I ain't never heard of her. There's a difference.
Me either.
Check.
Girl, bye.
Yeah, check.
Let's talk about
trying to get
the
that
Rock
check.
and Roll Hall of Fame.
Go ahead.
With all of the unrest and things that are going on, this is the most diverse and the most colorful class that they've had, I think, since the inception. You've got Shaka Khan. You've got Tina Turner, who, interestingly enough, is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Ike and Tina Turner, but she was trying to help Ike, but her solo career has a lot more, positives, and things that she's done. And don't forget, Tina Turner's documentary comes on HBO next month. You've got LL Cool J, 4th time nominated. Yes, I'm biased, but we got to get LL up in there for Queen's People.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you how to vote in a minute. But we also have, Jay-Z and Mary J. Blige. And a lot of times people that are up for nomination the first time don't get in. Don't get me wrong. I don't discount anything either of them have done.
Dionne Warwick, too. Dionne's not in yet.
Dionne. Yeah, I said, no, give her flowers while she's yet alive. She's not on Twitter. She's down to the Twitter, just tearing it up. You saw her. She had on a Cardi B or Nicki Minaj pink wig the other week. Yeah. And there is also a biopic in the mix. I heard that this dialogue between her and Netflix is actually growing some legs, and she wants Tiana Taylor to play her. So you can go to Rock Hall. Rock is in like rock and roll, and Hall like Regina Hall. Rockhall.com. You can vote once a day, every day now through the end of April. So anybody listening to the sound of my voice, if you don't vote for LL, you get no soul food.
And one of the things I noticed, I was looking at the rankings you sent me, and I guess ultimately you can vote, one time a day? Is that the case?
Once a day, yep.
You can vote once a day. And a lot of the black artists are kind of clumped together. You got Tina at the top. I think Tina got a lot of votes. She's on top, yeah. And then you've got everybody else. And I was shocked to see Dionne Warwick is low. And what's going to happen is as it moves further away from her era, it's going to be harder for her to get votes. You know what I'm saying?
That's any artist, of a certain age, anybody who's not a baby boomer, wouldn't. I mean, you look at the people that that are in there now. And I get it, and I hope that there is again diversity amongst the board of directors as well. Yeah. Because when you get a Shaka Khan, or even may she rest in peace. I love me some Betty Wright, people like that who have really made contributions, but they just weren't at the forefront. They were doing their work, behind the scenes. Yeah. Them getting votes is not going to. And I think the thing right now that really helps LL is the fact that he's got visibility on television. But if he weren't on TV, I don't know if he'd have as many votes as he have.
Hey, you know what I think, Tonya B? You mentioned we got so many people of color on the ballot. I just think rock ain't what it used to be. So when you look at the fact, most of the really classic rockers are already in there, you think within the last 10, 20 years, rock has been hurting. But you got like Foo Fighters. That's really, everybody else's, the rock genre like alone has been suffering. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And you have people, that I said of that generation.
Yeah.
If they don't get in soon, it's going to be an uphill climb.
Yeah, I think most of the real rockers are already in, and now really they got to look at hip hop. They got to look at what's taken over for rock.
Right, but they're looking at hip hop, but then they're also kind of taking people like the Betty Wrights and the Anita Bakers and people like that, and they're getting chucked to the side yet again.
But is it really rock and roll
with it and current? And they're engaging hip hop and they're forgetting about R&B.
Do they really want to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Here's my thing. Just like an award, they don't mean what they used to. And no tea, no shade to anybody or anything.
Okay.
You might hit a lick here and there. But, anymore, now that, the real backroom dealings of the Grammys is being exposed, is a Grammy award worth what it used to be? Yeah, you can sell records the next day, but after that, up downloads. But,
Yeah, I'm just curious. Just asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's that argument about... do you put Karen Carpenter in the rock and roll? You know what I'm saying? Or some of the soft rockers or really soft pop? Does it really?
Yeah, like the Eagles or America.
The Eagles definitely rock.
Eagles rock. REO Speedwagon of Chicago. I think they're already in there. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Well, Drake and Justin Bieber are claiming to be rock stars right about now.
You mean Drake from State Farm?
No, Drake from Canada.
If they go in, I'm shutting it down. If they go in right now, I'm shutting it down. That's all I got to say. What you got next, Tonya B?
I want to talk about Dumb Donkey of the Week. Dumb Donkey of the Week this week, I actually have two. 50 Cent and Kodak Black, and here is why.
Damn, he just got out of jail. He on the list again?
Well, he did say he had diminished mental capacity, and I really believe him now.
Okay.
And if you were at the Super Bowl last week, you heard about all these events that were going on without masks and without a social distance of even a foot, never mind 6 feet. And the king of that is 50 Cent. Of course, people go into these events and they put all this footage up on the internet. And the mayor of St. Petersburg, which is adjacent to Tampa, threatened to fine the venue and to fine 50 Cent for throwing that large of an event where people weren't wearing masks or social distancing. And the venue where he had this event is called Sky Addict Aviation. They have been shut down.
Wow.
And the city has revoked their lease. And 50 Cent was charging it with, if you were on a good day, if you got there right when the doors open, it was $85. But if you wanted to table any kind of bottle service, it started at $7,000. And, that was a COVID super spreader event along with what else was going on in the streets of Tampa. And then you had Kodak Black. And just because somebody prayed over I don't say his dumbass, prayed over him, that does not absolve you from getting COVID. He had a large super spreader event as well.
Wow.
The ratings were still down. People, they drug, I was going to say the internet, but his name is The Weeknd. It was okay. And I give him 5 on it for employing people, and giving them, a bit of a paycheck. But that was 13 minutes of my life I know I'll never get back. And it was okay. But, and I'm being kind. But after he did I Can't Feel My Face, and that other song, I don't even know the name of it. I just know it was in 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, somebody give me that pass of tequila.
Yeah, I know.
So,
but you know what I think, and this is what I hope the NFL can learn. A lot of these guys who just have hit songs but no stage presence, they shouldn't be doing the halftime show unless they have, bring in a collaborator who can give you the visual presence. You know what I mean? It was like, I hate to keep going back to it, but Bruno Mars, and when he did it with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, that was just fire. That was just, or Beyonce and
Coldplay.
It was Beyonce. He brought on Bruno Mars too, right? Bruno came in as well.
He came back again. Yes.
And then, I went back and I looked at the Prince performance. And just and I was, and I'm like, oh, damn. I mean, so, and then when you compare it to what Weeknd did again, it's just, maybe he can do that stuff at an awards show, but at something like the Super Bowl, it just, nah.
But think about this. Imagine what that would have been like without those millions of dollars of special effects. I'd have been like, okay, wake me up when he's done.
You couldn't even really feel the effects as much. It was just, I don't know. But you know what? Numbers-wise, it was the least watched Super Bowl in recent history, going back to like 2007. Right. 96.4 million viewers. And, last year they had 100.7 million. The only thing it really helped is the fact that Queen Latifah's show, The Equalizer, did well. It was basically the highest rated entertainment show since the Oscars in 2020. So following up after, that many folks, the follow-up show, the show that comes on after it always does well. So, it was, and you know what else I heard? And I want y'all's feedback on this.
What did you hear?
I saw this article about, somebody said to the NFL, once you go woke, you go broke. Because they were saying that, you should have just given Kaepernick a chance instead of spending all that time before the game trying to prove how equitable you are. Because it was just, and you're not, so all the social justice stuff they did before, I think a lot, it was either to a lot of people, it felt disingenuous, or to a lot of people who just weren't down with it, they tuned out. The streaming was cool. It was the highest streaming Super Bowl, but TV, nah.
Yeah, because you can walk away from it.
Walked away.
No, in that vein, I just want to say 5 on it, and I'm going to go buy some more Ben & Jerry's because they gave. I love that billboard that they put up for Colin Kaepernick in Tampa. That was awesome.
Yeah. You got anything else?
What did you guys think of Jasmine Sullivan and the Alicia Keys
Eric
singing
Church?
the Black National Anthem?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I was shocked. I mean, I growing up with Lift Every Voice in elementary school, it's funny to see it. Well, not funny.
Yeah.
It's just ironic to see it on that massive of a scale going out to the world.
On that platform.
Yeah.
I agree.
And to have that many females of color, you had Alicia Keys, you had her, and you had Jasmine Sullivan, who really, that was a great look for her because she's been on a hiatus for about 5 or 6 years. So I was, whoever, again, that's all Rock Nation and Jay-Z.
Yeah,
but it needs to have color because dude from Kentucky with 3 teeth and a beer, he opens one tooth with the beer can, are not the only people that watch those shows. So they need, that's been a lot. They're too late with that as far as I'm concerned.
They were trying hard. They were trying hard, super hard.
No,
you got anything else on your beat? You got anything else?
I do. Really quickly, you talked about Latifah and The Equalizer, and I'm locked and loaded. I've got it, scheduled for my DVR, but they had to stop production. I don't know how many shows they were in, but someone in the crew got COVID, so they've been on hiatus for a minute. Mm-hmm. These Aretha Franklin movies. Cynthia Erivo is coming on National Geographic, which they now call Nat Geo, next month with Genius Aretha. But to me, there is no Aretha Franklin movie if you don't have permission to use her music. So I don't know how they're going to get around that.
Yeah, just wait for J Hud. Just wait for J Hud.
All right, I'm waiting for the real RESPECT.
Yeah.
And I want to know, what did you all think about Regina King on SNL last night? I know there was a lot of buildup. There was a lot of hoopla to it. To me, it fell a little flat. I would have loved to have seen, and maybe they couldn't get it because everything doesn't make it to, the TV show. Yeah. But just somehow a little bit of homage to either 227 or, The Watchmen or, the many movies that she's been in. The only thing that I really liked was that the weed gummy skit.
Well, you know what? I didn't watch it. I recorded it. And
it's on Peacock.
Yeah, I know it's there too. But the bottom line is, I hadn't been feeling the writing on SNL. I've been, it's been a struggle for me. I mean, the Dave Chappelle episode was done well, Dave Chappelle, but the writing is so inconsistent on SNL. It's just, I didn't want to watch it because you know how you have cringe worthy moments with certain people who aren't. I just, if she was being put in a safe, well-written environment, I'd be cool with it. But I just said I'm gonna record it and wait because SNL, I'm not feeling SNL. And I'm an SNL fan all the way back to the 70s, the original cast. But now I ain't feeling it. I ain't feeling it.
So like since what, the 2000s or the 90s?
No, I mean, I'm talking about, going all the way back to the launch at like 75 when it, I was a baby, a kid.
When did you stop feeling it?
You know what? I think when, what's his name? Will Ferrell. When Will Ferrell was on, was like the last time it was funny as hell. When it was just like, because it had moments, if you've been watching it over the years, it's had these peaks and valleys, Yes. And one of the peaks, the last big peak, in my opinion, was when you had Adam Sandler, you had Will Ferrell,
Maya Rudolph.
Yeah, Maya. And you had, what's her name? They host the Golden Globes.
Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
Yeah, when they were on.
That was the last funny.
But the last group, the group they have now, I don't know if it's the writing, even like the newscast. It's just I just ain't with it. I just ain't with it. Y'all can let me know.
This.
All right, let me hit a couple of things real quick, and I'm gonna get out your way. Judas and the Black Messiah came out. Okay. This Friday. Have y'all had a chance to watch it yet?
I haven't.
Okay.
I heard it was quite violent, though. It had a lot of violence.
Well, it's not as violent as Goodfellas. Okay. So
that's just what I heard. Yeah.
It's not as bad as most. So I don't think the violence is as, and I watch a lot of that gangster stuff, Y-O, and I can compare it and I can say it's not that bad. At the end, maybe, because what happens. Hell, you can Wikipedia that. What happens to Fred Hampton at the end.
They get shot.
Yes. So I give it like 3.5 out of 5. The only thing that bothered me, I thought, Daniel Kula did a good job. He did a pretty good job. Stansfield did a pretty good job. But these guys were like 21 when Fred Hampton was 21 when he died. Okay. Bill O'Neill, who's Judas, was like 17. And a lot of people point this out, that the casting could have been maybe with somebody with younger to get a younger vibe. And the other thing, I just don't think a lot of these movies, the newer movies, do enough to really develop the characters on screen to where you can feel the stuff that's happening to them. It was happening like so fast. It's a very good looking film. Cinematography's great. But sometimes you just kind of, you wait for a Hampton speech to bring it to life. It was, it had too many laws for me, but it's good. It's good. Dominic Fishback is good. She plays the love interest, the partner who basically had Fred Hampton Jr. To Fred Hampton. So it's 3.5 out of 5, maybe a 4 out of 5. Not bad. It's worth a watch. You should definitely watch it for historical reasons. Because I think it was well done when it comes down to just portraying history, and the Panther movement. So I agree with that. The other thing I watched, Malcolm and Marie. Have y'all seen that yet?
No, I haven't.
All right, Tonya B, seen?
I have not. Yeah. I've heard about it.
I'm gonna say for the people, don't watch this on Valentine's night. That's all. This ain't a Valentine's movie.
Spoiler alert, Thomas. Let's just say if you're in love, then right. That is not the movie to watch.
This is like,
that much I know.
Do you remember Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad and Angelina Jolie?
Yeah.
It's like that without the weapons. That's all I got to say. It's kind of toxic, but the only thing, I watched it, and I'm not going to give the spoiler, but I will say that there are things that you learn in the movie that will make you lean in one direction in terms of who's right when it comes down to it. I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to spoil it. All right? I'm not going to spoil it. And just one more real thing, if y'all are cool with this, my romantic pick flicks. Can I give y'all that? Can I tell you?
Yeah, it's February. Today's Valentine's.
It's Valentine's Day. Tonya B said she didn't want to do it, so I'll do it.
Humbug.
So you know what I decided to do? I said I'm gonna give it in error, like in eras that I grew up. Okay, so when I was a little kid, the movie that would come on every year on television was Love Story. Ryan O'Neal, Ally McGraw. Y'all remember that? Y'all too young for that.
I do.
Okay.
And there was a Love Story, the sequel or something or other.
Yeah, they did. I forgot the name, his name, and Eric Siegel wrote the book. But that's one of my corny love movie. So it happened in the 70s, Love Story. Okay. 80s, and this is going to be a little weird for y'all, but I say The Color Purple. It was kind of a love story. You know, it was self-love and non-traditional love. So, you know, you had Cicely.
Incest. Yeah, you had a lot of kind of love in Color Purple.
but I mean the positive love.
I think that was the basis for Keith Sweat's song "You Got Me Twisted." But okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the positive love of Cicely coming into her own. The 90s, True. I've got to say, Love Jones is my favorite when it comes down to the 90s. Amazing soundtrack, just great chemistry. Great movie.
I can vouch for that one.
Early 2000s, I got to say, Love and Basketball.
Yes.
And the reason, Sanaa Lathan was just hellacious, and the director of that movie is just Gina Blythewood is just phenomenal. I love her work. But early 2000s, I'd have to say Love and Basketball. Current day, I give it to Sylvie's Love. I think Sylvie's Love. So,
oh yeah.
So those are like my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I really. Did you have any Y-O that come to mind that kind of stand out for you?
Not really. I think you covered a couple of mine with Love Jones and
Love and Basketball.
Love and Basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those, I mean, there are a lot of them. You could talk about Mahogany. There are a lot of them, but I really, the one.
I loved that as a kid. Yeah. I haven't watched it as an adult.
Yeah, Mahogany's on, I think it's on Turner Classic Movie, maybe on HBO Max too. So you can check that out. All right, y'all, but you can give us a call. If we missed, I know I missed a whole bunch of them, made some people mad with Love Story. You can give us a call, 413-556-95. But I did watch that movie as a kid, though, man. It was so sad. I'm not going to, maybe somebody hadn't seen it, so I'm not going to spoil it. But, you know what happens. Everybody knows what happens by now. 413-556-9546. Feel free. Give us feedback, 413-556-9546. One more thing, Tonya B, and we're going to go do the Y-O's Woke Report. But shout out to Sanyu Estelle. Who
shout out to who?
Sanyu Estelle. She's been on the show. She's one of our podcasters. She just released an album on iTunes, on all the digital platforms, and I got to say kudos to her. But not only that, Millennial Nick is getting track credits, and he's also the mixer. He mixed the album. Oh. So kudos to Sanyu. And kudos to, Millennial Nick, who's our producer and down with me. So, kudos to him. I just wanted to give him a shout out. Okay. So what you got before we do the Woke Report, Tonya B?
Okay. I got two quick. You talked about things, and I meant to talk about, we weren't here last week, The Best Man. There was a movie, Best Man and Best Man Holiday, and Peacock, the free NBC service, is bringing back a 10-episode series of The Best Man. All of the original main cast members except Monica Calhoun, because she passed away in the last movie. Wow. But they're all going to, come. Even Terrence Howard need that check.
Are you serious?
So I'm looking forward to.
That's huge.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm really looking forward to that, and it's going to be on Peacock, so it's free, y'all. So yeah. Yeah, because that was one of my. That was actually, I was conflicted between that and Love Jones. Yeah, that was somewhat of a love story, just different types and different stages of relationships. So Best Man will be interesting. And for those of you that are in New York, tomorrow, the 15th, there will be a public viewing for the iconic actress Cicely Tyson at Harlem's historic Abyssinian Baptist Church. It's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Be prepared to stand in line. It's going to be rainy and snowy tomorrow. You must social distance. Cameras are not allowed, so do not go into the church trying to make your phone look like earrings or have it in your cleavage and try to bend over the casket saying, God bless Cicely Tyson, because Jesus will not be pleased and you will be escorted out of the building.
The church. Put it away. Turn it off.
There's going to be a long line for that. People will stand in line, I believe, rain, sleet, snow, or hail for Cicely Tyson. So,
I agree. Wear your mask. Mask up, y'all. Make sure
you can't go in the church without one. You cannot go in the church without one, and everybody's going to be 6 feet apart. So just imagine how long that line is going to be.
But true.
Again, she's worth it. She's a international treasure.
Yeah.
And I'm done.
Okay, cool. Hey, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and do it, y'all.
Jay, you got to be down. What you ain't down?
Yeah, Boogie, now I'm down. But I'm down for something positive in the community. Are you down for that?
It's the Stay Woke Report with Y-O.
Y-O, what you got? What you got this week?
Okay, y'all. Why it's Black History Month in February? How do you celebrate? And everything you need to know. Have you guys ever thought about who started Black History Month? Well, just in case you didn't know, because I didn't know either, Carter G. Woodson, known as the father of Black history, developed Black History Month. And he started it off as Black History Week or Negro History Week. And that was in 1926. So it wasn't until 1976, during the height of the Civil Rights Movement, that President Ford expanded the week into the Black History Month, like 50 years after the fact. Now, Carter G. Woodson started it as like a week in February to display what the students had learned all year round. And the reason he started it was because, it's not really much of our history in the school books. And the schools aren't doing a really good job and have not been doing a good job for a long time.
Nope.
He made a quote saying, "Those who have no record of what their forebears have accomplished lose the inspiration which comes from the teaching of biography and history."
Amen.
So there are some people who really think that the what we get from Black History Month is watered down and very sensitive to the white race, and especially for the white audience. So
it's whitewashed.
What do you guys think? Yeah, what do you guys think? How do you celebrate Black History Month? I mean, I grew up where it was just instilled with us in the family, but it definitely wasn't in the schools. My dad was telling me things like, and I had no idea of what he was doing, but he was like, that Rudy and that Vanessa, they sure are pretty. And then when I grew up, I understood that, not just that, but actually learning history and reading and being, books being placed in the home so that we could just, expound on our history, because you do feel better and more confident once you know that your people have accomplished a lot in society, from a local level to a global level. And that's that.
But real quick on that, Y-O, I'll tell you, I grew up in Atlanta, in the Atlanta public school system. And I've got to, the first Black superintendent was Dr. Alonzo Krim. And I will say that I was fortunate to have Dr. Krim as the superintendent at that time, because Black History Week was a huge deal. I mean, my school was 100% Black pretty much.
Was this high school?
Oh, this was elementary school. School.
Oh, great. Okay.
And it was widely celebrated in the Atlanta public school system. And I would say probably in most of the urban areas like Detroit, areas of, Black areas in Chicago. So, in the 70s, even before that, I think Black History Month had a stronger presence in the schools than the integrated schools, if that makes sense. So I always knew growing up, because I always went to Black elementary schools, what Black History and Black History Month meant. So it is unfortunate, because a lot of if you didn't grow up in like a core Black urban market, then it was really tough, because like you said, you got whitewashed history. I mean, I remember, Y-O, that, we would sing, like, lift every voice and sing at every assembly. That was I mean, we sang that like you had to know the first and second verse.
You knew that second verse too, right?
You had to know it. So, it was like HBCU for me in elementary school. So thanks for bringing that up. Thanks for bringing that up.
Integration
And I hope a lot of
definitely
parents
did a lot of damage.
Yeah, I hope our parents, hope the parents are, kind of reinforcing stuff. What you got next?
Okay, this is really big. Baton Rouge City Council passes $4.5 million settlement for Alton Sterling's family 5 years after his death. So their Metro Council in Louisiana, the East Baton Rouge Council, they voted on it like a little less than a week ago. And he was shot and killed by police in 2016. Wow. The council voted 7-4 in favor of offering the settlement to his family after they filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the city and the Baton Rouge Police Department. It's really crazy, you guys. This is 5 years after, and then, before this, they asked for a $5 million settlement, and it didn't pass at that time. The council they fell short of one vote, and they needed 7 to support the approval. So if you don't know, Sterling was like 37 years old. He was shot and killed July 5th, 2016. 2 white police officers. They had a 911 call about a guy standing out in front of stores selling CDs or movies or discs or something to that nature. And I mean, I really don't know more of the details, but I mean, the officer, what is his name? He just shot him.
Wow.
He just shot him. Officer Blaine Salamoni. He shot Sterling at the scene, and he was fired from the police department like 2 years after the incident.
So how much, what was the final settlement again?
$4.5 million.
Well, you know what? At least they got justice, because a lot of families still never got justice, didn't get justice. So just, at least, they got some justice in this.
That's true. So, and the mayor did say they're glad that I think it's a she, that she's glad that some type of justice was shown, and it's like a leeway to make more improvements. And Sterling's death was before the death of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. So he was like the spark before all the protests that came. They were protesting for him and against him being killed by the police. Yeah. So.
Good stuff.
That's that.
Well, good stuff for them. Good stuff for the family. You got anything else? I got one more thing I want to drop in, and I think I sent this to you too, just in case. I'm going to have a GoFundMe link on the podcast page. I got this from one of our listeners, KW. Thanks for sending it to me. For 24-year-old Shayna Bell, she's the young lady who left the 10 and 6-year-old in the Motel 6 in Ohio. And they took her away, booked her on 2 counts of child endangerment. But, with COVID and everything that's going on, a lot of, especially a lot of Black women are really put at a disadvantage when it comes down to child care. But they've raised about $7,200 for that GoFundMe right now. And of course, it's never a good idea to leave your kids, especially one's 10 years old and one's 6. But we don't know all the circumstances, but I will put the link. I think they've done about $7,200, but just in case for anybody who feels. So like she's out on
bond now, right?
I think she is. She's still locked up. They turn the kids over to the father. And he looks a hot mess. I mean, the only picture they had of the dad was a mugshot. And
I knew you were going to say.
So that ain't.
And you guys, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you look around and notice, a lot of people are making homes out of these. I mean, just motels and hotels, even extended stay. They're living there, like paying weekly, probably like 3 or 4 times the amount they would pay for rent. But because they're just getting the money, week by week, and that's how they're living. It's really sad.
Yeah.
It's not real living. And that's also the sad part about it. It really isn't real living. And when you there are several, in the outlying areas of Metro Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And, I get it. It's a roof over your head, but it's not quality of life living. And on top of that, he said she's got these 2 young kids. So more often than not, you've got to also deal with them being educated remotely.
Yeah, so true.
That's right.
So true.
And it was a 2-year-old and a...
No, it was actually a 10-year-old. I think a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. And the 10-year-old.
And you can't leave your kids for 5 minutes. Like there was a time if your mother had to run to the store or whatever. Yeah. You also had the village or the neighborhood who could look out for you. And that's missing right now. So, she really, her village failed her. I'll say that. The village has failed her.
Yeah, I agree. But the dad, when they said, we're going to show you a picture of what the dad looks like. It's like a mugshot. I'm like, oh, damn.
Well, hopefully the dad has a mama who can take those kids because now they really might be endangered children.
That's what I was thinking. That's probably why she didn't leave him with him.
Absolutely.
Right. Why she was in the situation she was in. Who knows? She could have been leaving an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
He could have gotten arrested and they lost it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call Usher Board number 2. We have to call Usher Board number 2.
Absolutely. Amen. Hey, well, Y-O, thank you for the Stay Woke report this week. Really appreciate you digging in and giving that good stuff.
I have something this just in. I know I did the celebrity prayer list, but also in all seriousness, prayers up to Nicki Minaj and her family. Her dad was killed earlier today in a hit and run accident in New York. So. Wow. Like I say, when we say nothing is promised, you never know.
Absolutely.
It's a hit and run.
Absolutely. So true. So true. Vi's not here this week. Of course, I mentioned Vi. Vi got his Moderna. The Moderna shot. So he got his second one.
You called it Madonna. Is it Madonna? Is that the name?
She has that effect on men of color now. She down with the swirl too. And I'm going to send Usher Board number 2. Look, I'm sending Usher Board number 2 over to Vi's house to check on him too. So tell him when Deaconess Saunders rings the doorbell, he can open up.
What did we say? What? For the sick and shut in.
For the sick and shut in. There you go.
Yes. Sick and shut ins.
You know it. So here we go. Let's do this and we'll come back and close this thing out. Here we go.
I didn't come here to preach to you today.
Here's your inspirational moment with Vi.
It is good to love yourself. Yes, when your soul is at stake, God does not condone the self-centered person who loves and protects his or her selfish interests and would do anything to serve them. Instead, he encourages those who really care about themselves to seek wisdom. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 8. To acquire wisdom is to love yourself. People who cherish understanding will prosper.
Good stuff, Vi. And see, Vi gets it in even when he's not feeling well. So thank you, man. I appreciate you doing that. And also, I got to say, one of our good buddies who listens to the show every week, Gary in Mobile, he's in the hospital. He's battling COVID. So sent me a text today and just said, hey, man, y'all throw some prayers up for me. So hang in there, Gary, man. It's going to be good, man. He said he was so out of it. He woke up today. He didn't even know it was Sunday. He lost lost track of days. Wow. So y'all be safe out there. Y'all definitely be safe. Okay. Next week, we've got a guest coming in, and I had a chance to meet with Karen Renee. She's East Point City Councilwoman, and she's also the VP of the NAACP. She gave me a quick tour because I lived in East Point, grew up and went to high school there in East Point. So she kind of showed me what the city looks like now. She'll be stopping by. She's going to talk about voting from an NAACP standpoint, and just kind of give us an update on because right now there are a lot of changes. They're trying to make a lot of changes to the voting rules. So she's going to stop in and just kind of give us an update on what's going on. And, they gave, Tonya B, they gave Big Boy the key to the city in East Point, right? They gave him.
I saw that.
Yeah, I got a T-shirt.
Well, honestly, he's poured a lot of money into East Point on the low, not just Atlanta, but he's poured a lot of money into East Point. So he absolutely deserved it.
Absolutely. He's a
Big Boy.
Tri-Cities grad. He graduated from Tri-Cities. So let me give it up. Give him that. Absolutely. But Karen Renee, thank you. I just got to say thanks to Karen for giving me the tour. And I greatly appreciate it. And also, don't forget, check out that piece. I'll have it on the podcast page on Harold Michael Harvey. And he talks about the verdict, the Donald Trump verdict. I definitely want you guys to check it out. Tonya B, you got any last thoughts, any last words, any thing to leave us with? Any thing we missed? Did we miss anything?
I think I've done enough for today. Just remind people, COVID is real. You still got to mask up. And just, people think, I'm going to get the vaccine or I got COVID and I beat it. That's not the case. It does have long-lasting effects on your lungs, your heart, and your kidneys.
So true. So true. Y-O, you got any last-minute thing? Did I miss anything on the Stay Woke report we need to wrap?
Y'all know they're after Warnock, right?
Oh, what? For
what? The election board investigates Warnock and the New Georgia Project. First of all, he's been listed as the respondent in the case, and he's not even the CEO of the New Georgia Project. It's crazy. They're saying that the organization was slow to deliver over 1,200 voter registration applications to election officials in 2019. So it's really something to get after him. Stacey Abrams actually started.
Right. They tried to go after her and her sister.
Wow. And the present CEO, what's her name? I guess it's a she, Nasee Ufo, said the state election board meeting was the first time she has heard about the allegations, and they haven't received anything on this matter. So they didn't really, besides that, they didn't really respond or comment to media. But man, they're letting Trump off the hook and then messing with our brothers. Well, sisters.
Two sets of justice. I mean, but is it coming from the state or is it coming from the federal? The feds?
The state.
It figures. Yeah, it figures coming from the state. But we'll see. I mean, hopefully, let's just hope they dotted I's and crossed T's. Let's just hope.
That's right.
All right, y'all. Every story I mentioned, I'll make sure I have all of that on the podcast page. Again, Vi, feel better, man. Thank you so much for getting that inspiration to us, even under the weather. Do your thing. And y'all, with that, episode 69 is in the can, and we are out of here. Peace.
You've been listening to the G Podcast with your host, Tonya B. The G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.